It's an interview with ABC News that Donald Trump did, an exclusive. I think Trump is right now trying to do a media circuit in order to try to reverse the ever-sinking sand trap that he's found himself in when it comes to the polling numbers due to the foreign policy failures and the economic failures and the legal failure. The point is, there's been a few bumps in the road, and I think he wants to reverse course. Well, one of these interviews was with ABC News, and there was this interaction during this news that just shows Trump's inability to accept reality. And when faced with reality, he just gets angry at the reality instead of just accepting the fact that he was wrong. For example, Trump says that Mr. Garcia, the man that was deported from Maryland illegally to El Salvador, he says that man had MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles. Now, if you see MS-13 knuckles tattooed, if you look this up, I'm sure it'll be the first thing that comes up probably. Yeah, this right here. This is the image that Trump held up. The MS-13 here was photoshopped on. That's not part of the tattoo. What is part of the tattoo is marijuana leaf, smiley face, a cross, a Christian cross, and a skull, which he says, or at least others said, is M stands for marijuana, S stands for smiley face, 1 is a cross, which I kind of believe I could kind of get, and then 3 is a skull somehow. Now, if you were to ask them what other MS-13 gang member has a tattoo like this, they have yet to produce that. Now, again, this tattoo could be an indication of anything. It could be an indication of something. It could be an indication of nothing. It has not been proven in a court of law. But this MS-13, this is literally photoshopped on. It's not the Pictionary that they're trying to do. So when Trump says he had MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles, that's Photoshop. This is the president of the United States, basically falling for deep fakes live from the Oval Office. Or in this case, producing them. Because it'd be one thing if it was like, okay, that represents that, and what we're saying is that possibly this could mean in a Pictionary way. No, he's saying, no, it's MS-13. Not proven in the court of law, but it's MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles. Let's listen to what he responds to, because once a reporter says that's not true, that's photoshopped, he just gets angry. Here's the clip.
He wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute over that.
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
Yeah, that was photoshopped. So let me
That was photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break.
Terry, you can't do that. Report that it was literally Photoshop. It's the clearest Photoshop. The purpose of the Photoshop wasn't even to be like, look, he has MS-13 on his, at least that's not what I assumed from it. My assumption was that it was supposed to be, that's what the marijuana plant means, that's what this means, that's what that plant, it was meant to be like the symbolic nature, and it was making an argument that the tattoo could be an MS-13 tattoo. Still have yet to find out how a skull is a 3, and if the cross is really the one. I mean, that is yet to be proven in a court of law. He's not even making that argument. He's making the argument that he literally had MS-13 tattooed onto his knuckles. A blatant lie. And when this journalist just enters, boom, here's the factual, it's an insult to the point where he has to stop the interview. We need to stop the interview. How dare you correct my blatant lie? That's not your job, is to listen to what I say and just give me a platform. That's all your job. Your job isn't to be critical. Your job is to sit there, shut up, and listen to how I'm great.
MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshop. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry. But you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture. We'll
and you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No.
He is so determined to lie about this. He keeps dragging it back. He keeps dragging it back. Remember, this was the eating the dogs or eating the cats guy. This is now the standard for presidential truth. We could be in the middle of a national security crisis and he could say, oh my God, Marines are encircled, X, Y, and Z, and it could just be a complete lie. That's what he said about Kursk. This is the problem when there is zero credibility in anything the United States president says.
He had MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's fake news.
When he was photographed in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No, but they're in your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
We'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at that,
Why
sir.
don't you just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested.
See, why don't you? What do you mean? Fuck ABC. I'm sorry. No. That I can't believe I just heard that from this journalist. I just lost respect for this journalist like in an instant. I'm sorry. What did you just say? It's contested? It's not contested. Don't change the truth because this dude whined too loud for you. Your job is to report the truth, you schmuck. This is why, Trump's saying nobody respects the press because you don't lie for me. And so you're like, okay, I guess that's true. Let me just say maybe. Okay, who knows? It's contested. It's contested by one person, the man in front of you. No one else. The people who made the graphic I don't even think they intended to say what Trump's saying. He's just saying it because he saw it as an easier lie to just say to people, hey, MS-13, the letters are actually spelled out instead of, well, the marijuana plant represents the M, and the cross represents the 1, and a skull represents 3. Like, it's easier to just say, it's MS-13 and just show that picture. Oh, that's there. It's not there. It's that tattoo is not there. And instead of being firm on it, you know what he should have done? When Trump said, you want to see the picture? He should have said yes. He said, yeah, let's look at it. If you would like to, Mr. President, show me the picture and show us to be the lying media. But, that's just not how we're going to do it again. It's disputed. It's disputed. And the way in which he tried to quickly move over to Ukraine, I understand he only has a certain amount of time, but the way he also operated here made it look like, to some extent, I could see an area that should be a slam dunk, easy peasy lemon squeezy, because of how Trump's just flailing on this blatant lie that if anyone sees the picture will immediately recognize it's a blatant lie. At least I thought immediately would recognize. Most people would recognize. Some have apparently still seen the picture and thought it was drawn on that way, onto his hand, not photoshopped. He just decided, okay, it's contested. It's contested because you said so. Okay, great. If you're going to go interview somebody said the moon is, flat, and it's, one guy said it, so I guess it's contested. The moon's round now because one guy said. That's not how journalism works. Just because he's the president and he says it doesn't mean now it's a serious opinion to have. Don't normalize lying like this. Oh my God, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Who gives a shit if he was an MS-13 anyway? If he was an active MS-13 gang member, then I probably, and he's not a U.S. citizen, I don't think I want him here. Yeah, I could agree with that. But why do we have to break down the norms and processes of the law that can then be abused against you and me in order to do it? Just deport him and prove it in a court of law. If the evidence is so overwhelming as you say, then it shouldn't be a problem. What matters here is not even whether or not this guy is in MS-13. What matters is the general standards by which we will all have to go through the legal system. Everyone deserves due process. Period. End of paragraph. Because if some can be denied due process, before you know it, anyone can be denied due process. So, I mean, come on, guys. Why even get the symbols? What if this was the tattoo? Why do the whole Pictionary like, ooh, I'm being secret about MS-13? If you're just gonna scribble like a child MS-13 over it, like an over detailed political comic, like you have to label every single thing in it. Is that the only way Trump could understand it? Do you think when Trump jumps on these lies, like there's anyone that just like for a moment like, ah, God, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have put the MS. Oh God, that's his thing now. Shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that? Think there's people who see him take this? Ah, God. I'd like to hope there is, but I think I doubt it. As we all know, skull means 3, pineapple means 7, and aeroplane means 2.